The Question, all along the Watchtower, issue 1, Alex Segura writing with CIAN TORMEY on the art. So, I almost forgot to read this, Matt, because I forgot it was coming out.
Oh, no.
But I did. I read it
Yes.
last possible second. So, I did sneak it in just in time. And I'm glad I did, because it was an interesting book, for sure. Obviously, the premise sounded intriguing, which is Renee Montoya, the Question, is going to be like the sheriff of the Watchtower. And the issue does a really fun thing to start with, where she's like getting up to start her day, and the reveal, of course, in the second page is when she looks out the window, is that she's on a space station. She's on the new Watchtower. She's looking out at space and Earth, and this is this big 2-page layout of showing that off. And then the story quite quickly flashes back to like how she got the job. You know, it recaps a couple of things in her history here recently. That she was commissioner, she got fired for Vandal Savage due to corruption and whatnot, and now she's here, and it does tell the story of how she got here. It gives you a little tease. We see her in her outfit with this fancy shotgun on her back, which we find out later is not an actual shotgun. It's like a teleportation shotgun that will take you to the Phantom Zone chamber that's in the Watchtower.
Yep.
So cool.
Her wide brim hat with the trench coat and the shotgun. It's giving Western vibes. So her being the sheriff of the Watchtower too. Just peak design here.
Oh, very intentional. I will say, like, I don't know, like, there's a lot of characters, right, that are supposed to be in Justice League Unlimited. But I don't know if I ever considered it'd be enough for what feels like a city in space, because when that page after it shows you her walking out in her outfit and she's walking down the promenade, which made me smile because that's what the main part of the station is in Deep Space Nine. Like they always talk about the promenade. And it is like a city street on a space station, and you've got just tons of random DC characters like just sprinkled around. And I was like, damn, this is a lot of like people up here, and like it needs a sheriff to actually like. It's not like you would think it's all superheroes. Why would anyone be doing anything bad? But of course, the book gets into why she's here and what's going on. So obviously, Batman's the one who went to her, right? At least initially, he went to her. It flashes back a week prior, and Batman's like, "Hey, like like you've got a purpose, whatever. The Justice League needs your help." And she's like, "Wait, what? Like you're coming to me for help? That's a bit funny." Like, and he's like, "You don't have to listen to me." And Superman shows up at the window, and she's kind of starstruck because she's used to dealing with Batman. She's talked to Batman a bunch of times.
Right.
Superman's different for her. It's new.
He's still like a big deal, right? She's dealt with Batman her entire career when she was on the police force, and then as commissioner and all this other stuff. But Superman still is this larger than life character. You know, so I do like that she has like this almost hesitation as she comes out the window.
And then even more so, perhaps Wonder Woman, because when we get to the station, and Wonder Woman's explaining like her duties and whatever, like there's just a little line that says, "Oh, it's hard not to look at her," and you're like, "Oh yeah, Renee's probably attracted to her because she's Wonder Woman." But she explains and Superman kind of explains this as well. But we get the idea here that they think someone is trying to breach the Watchtower. Someone's trying to break into it and do something with it. They're not sure what. But that's what Renee's main goal is for this arc, is to find out who's trying to do something to the Watchtower. Obviously, by the end of the issue, it turns into a murder as well. But she's like, "Hey, you've got a team." So it turns out that both Blue Beetles are going to be working under Montoya as like sort of basically the techies, like the recon. They're doing the surveillance and whatnot.
Kind of like Q for Bond, right? Like it's not just gadgets and stuff though. They're the definitely technical side. Yeah.
So you've got that, and then they go to like the animal sort of like preserve part of the building, and Animal Man's there, so he's going to be working under as well, for sure. Challenges of the Unknown are kicking around as well.
Which I do like that they've explained that, knowing that there's a Challengers book coming, and it seems like these Challengers of the Unknown are like crew members on the Watchtower. Right? They're the ones that are doing the day-to-day kind of upkeep and maintenance and all this type of stuff.
I wonder if they'll have a new member before that book starts, though, because one of them's not here anymore.
Yeah. Which again, I kind of like that synergy, continuity kind of stuff at play as well.
Yeah. And then she's like, "Oh, you've got one more person working under you, a field agent." And she's like, "Who's that?" And then she's like, "Oh, no. And then the reveal is that it's Batwoman. And it's like, oh, great, her ex-girlfriend.
Yes. And just a great reveal, her on this perch in this like jungle setting as well.
Yeah,
makes her just pop out.
I was going to say greenhouse, but I guess it's more of a, what you call it, something tarium.
Yeah, arbitorium. What's the right word? Oh, jeez.
I don't know. Ends in tarium anyway.
We have them all over the strip. Jeez. It'll come back to me. But yeah,
really?
She's. Mm-hmm. So in these big lobbies of a lot of the hotels, right? They'll have these big like open spaces with living plants and whatnot.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Yeah. At least the Mirage used to. The Bellagio has a conservatory. I would guess it would be like the Bellagio has one. I think Hard Rock had one. So they're kind of going away by the wayside. I don't think they want to deal with a lot of living plants, right?
Yeah. But, well, obviously this is for the animals more than it is for the plants.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, the big thing at the end of this show is an alert goes off. There's someone attacking. It's someone in some random supervillain suit, but it's not actually the villain that's in there, because the villain that's in the suit is actually locked away in a cell. Turns out it's just a robot. Once they take it down after a little bit of fighting, there's a whole thing where fire shows up, and it turns out fire and ice swap powers after the last event. So she freezes this bad guy. He starts to break out, but ultimately the shotgun that Renee has to the face kind of takes care of business, and she takes off the mask and reveals it's just a robot. This is all distraction, though. That's what she basically says, and the actual end of the issue is the reveal that one of the challengers has been killed. They're lying dead, and seemingly they're lying dead in Renee Montoya's apartment.
Yes, and that's Batwoman coming through, right? That she's talking.
That's Batwoman finding the body. Yeah.
Yes, and there's the big book. But all right, so this cat, right? Does this cat look familiar to you?
I mean, not specifically. It looks kind of streaky-esque, I guess. If you.
So it looks like Ozymandias' cat from Watchmen.
Oh, like, okay. You know what? I didn't even get that was big ears. I just thought that was the tail coming from the back.
Those big ear tufts. So,
okay.
And so I'm looking at this book. It's called, Along the Watchtower, right?
True. And there's even a line earlier on where someone says, when they're explaining, hey, like, we're up in the Watchtower, and I think Renee says, but who watches you? Which is kind of a reference to Watchmen,
right? And you look at some of these characters that they're using to tell the story, right? Yeah, Blue Beetle, who is the inspiration for Night Owl, right? You got Renee as a question, who inspired Rorschach, right? So there's all these little themes throughout that are leading to, like, it's even starting with a murder, right? In a locked room, kind of how Watchmen started.
Yeah, I can't argue with any of this.
Very interesting.
To be fair, though,
this is the I don't think this is going to be the point of the story going forward. I just think it's a fun little tag to kick the story off.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Well, no, I think they're going to be investigating this murder. This is a big plot beat for this.
No, I know that. I'm talking about the entire Watchmen. Like, I don't think we'll have as many as that theme going forward.
Yeah, I will say, though, other than the ears, I don't think the cat looks like the cat from Watchmen at all. Like, it is just the ears.
He was purple, right? I looked him up. His name is Bubatis.
Yeah, but doesn't he have, like, more to the face as well, if I recall correctly?
I'm pulling him up right now. No, they look relatively similar. Really? It's the big ears, cat face. He was a genetically altered lynx, or it was a genetically altered lynx. So, but yeah, I was getting big Watchmen vibes throughout, especially with the who watches us, who pays attention, and the fact that it's Renee as the question, but yeah. Very reminiscent. I can't say I saw that and I immediately thought of Ozymandias' cat.
Hold on. I'm looking at the cat now. There is more, because he's got like white on the face as well. Not only is purple, there was more of a tuft to the face, which is why that's what I was thinking of when I was saying they don't look that much alike, other than the ears. I mean, I can't deny the ears. The ears are definitely there, but like, so I guess what I'm saying is that it seems like it's the same type of cat, but not the same cat.
Right.
If that makes sense. The same species, I guess, is what I'm saying. Anyway, that may not be even important. But
it might not be important at all. I was getting this Watchmen vibe throughout, and I just wanted to mention it. I mean, see if anyone else picked up on it.
It may be a tease, though, for who's behind this.
Right?
I mean, I don't think it's going to be Manhattan, but like if you end up telling me it's like, I don't know, some offshoot of Ozymandias or something, I don't know. That's possible.
I mean, what happened at the end of that story with Ozymandias?
Well, Doomsday Clock?
Was it Doomsday Clock? Was it the where he ran back through? It's been so long, and there were so many.
Yeah, that was ages ago. Don't expect me to know that.
No, but was that the last time we saw Ozymandias? I feel like there was another
comics. I think so.
Yeah.
There was a TV show which did its own thing with those characters, and that was more recent. But I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't remember Ozymandias being a thing after that. Obviously, there was the Rorschach book, but none of those characters popped up in that. I don't think.
That was just literally Rorschach.
And it wasn't even Rorschach. It was a new character who was Rorschach. Yeah. So, no. I think even without the Watchmen teases, though, I did enjoy just the introduction to this, space station, Montoya being the main character is cool, and then the murder mystery element did give me a nice hook for the future issues. So I did enjoy this. Like I was glad I squeezed it in at the last second. So, no complaints. I mean, art's good. Sometimes the faces are a little bit angular for my taste, but it's not too bad in that sense.
No, but like, I always look at when the question's going to be a main character and the face isn't just a blank face, right? There's still some contours to it, right? I always judge it based off of that. And I think the question looks good throughout. I mean, it helps that the hat does a lot of the heavy lifting.
Yeah, no, I think the environments look really good typically in here. Yeah. I like that panel actually when the alarms go off just before the villain attack, where Jaime's like mask like sort of reveals his eye. I thought that was a really nice visual.
It's coming up around because he's going into battle mode.
Yeah, because his mask is off before that. You're right, and then it's like it's in the middle of forming around his face, with all the red lights and alarms going off behind him. I thought it was a really cool visual.
For sure.
In general, it's a cool setting. Murder mystery is interesting. I assume they're not going to just assume it's Renee behind this just because it happens to be in her place. And we know it's her place because of the Alcoholics Anonymous book that they established earlier on is sitting there, but now it's covered in blood. So this happened in her place. So that I'm sure will be something that they investigate next issue. But it makes me excited though that Renee has a crime to investigate. So it's going to be more of an actual detective book.
Yes.
Even with all these other fancy characters kicking around. So that sounds interesting to me. You good?
Yeah, I'm reading what happened to Ozymandias, and there was a new character they introduced at the end there, who was a orphan who got a pet gifted to her by Ozymandias. Her name was Cleopatra Peck, who went by Nostalgia. So that's at the end of Doomsday Clock. So
the fact that you're telling me she got a pet cat like his at the end of that story does lead me to think that she's probably behind this.
Yes, I mean he looks more in this panel at the end of Doomsday Clock, looks much more like that one. That you're pointing out than this one does. But
that's a pull. I mean, Doomsday Clock ended in like 2017 or maybe early 2018 because it got delayed a lot, but.
Buddy, it was delayed to 2020. It was February 2020.
What?
That's what it says. At least not on this
page. It was 2019 because it was like it would have been dated on the cover as like February, but it was out at Christmas. I remember it being like right at the end of the year.
That's correct.
Yeah, I remember.
But anyways, I really enjoyed this. I'm a fan of Renee, so I'm already a little bit biased, but the rich setting, like Pete keeps saying, like it just the Watchtower feels full of life. Right, like a city, and I feel that's the best use of Renee is to have her interact with a bunch of different people, and this is a kind of perfect setting. Also, the follow up from Animal Man, where they talk about he got hit with a brick, right, playing off of the events of Absolute Power, when they turned on him, the crowd and whatnot. So there's almost like a darkness to Buddy here. I thought it was pretty interesting. So yeah, pretty fun book.
Yeah, the fact that it might be paying off stuff from Doomsday Clock is kind of wild because I don't expect this book is going to be like a huge seller necessarily. So interesting they're doing that with it, but I'm here for it. So yeah, go on, give it to me. So yeah, enjoyable first issue. What do you give it, Matt?
I'm gonna give this an 8.
Yeah, I agree. 8. I think if I like the art just a touch more, it'd probably bump up. But I like everything that it sets up here, so I'm in for issue 2.